Christmas.
Hello everybody, this is Alessandra. Welcome to my home, welcome to my kitchen. We're going to making almond biscotti. Biscotti alle mandorle. Stay tuned for the recipe. But before I go further, grazie Lenuccia up in Canada for sharing this delicious recipe. This is one of those recipes that, you metti la farina quanto basta, but I can't do that. Put as much flour as it takes. I gotta be exact, so I did measure out the flour, but it's simple ingredients. We have flour, sugar, eggs, vanilla, salt, the almonds, almond extract, oil, and in order to egg washer, we have an egg and sugar in the raw. First thing you're gonna do, oven on 350, and let's toast the almonds. 5-6 minutes should be enough. Careful not to forget them in the oven. I've done that, you don't wanna burn them. Let's get the almonds chopped. By using a food processor, I find that it pulverizes them. So the best way is to really do it, scotta, they're hot, okay. The best way is to do it with a knife. You just want to break it in smaller pieces. It makes it easier for cutting the biscotti later. Okay, now, see the way they're supposed to be? Okay, so move them on the side now. They need to be completely cold, and let's proceed with mixing the dough. First thing we're going to do is, with the whisk, incorporate some air into the flour, makes it lighter. It's almost as if you were sifting it. Okay, this is the extra flour to roll, so I'm going to move that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and add the baking powder, which is 4 teaspoons. Okay, give it a good whisk because I hate when the baking powder doesn't dissolve and you get those little lumps. Not fun when you bite into it. And here's a little bit of the salt in it too. And just continue whisking. Okay, now let's set this aside. Now for the wet ingredients, we're going to add the eggs, the vanilla, and the almond extract. Let's start whisking and add the sugar right in. This part could be done by hand. Also, you could use an electric mixer. But what's the fun if you're not getting a workout? See, the mixture is nice and lighter. What we're going to do is slowly add the oil right in and continue mixing. Work it right in, just keep stirring. The oil is all incorporated. Now we're going to go ahead and add the flour in. Let's go ahead and just add it all in. Now, remember, move from a whisk to a spatula because you're going to fold it in. You could sift in the flour, but remember, by using the whisk, I broke up all the flour bubbles and gave it some lightness to it. Go ahead and mix it all together. You'll see the liquid will start absorbing the flour and it makes it into a nice dough. Look at the beautiful consistency of this dough. Look at that. Soft and just the right amount of the flour is in. Now what I'm going to do is let's go ahead and add the almonds right in. Don't forget the little crumbs at the bottom. And now give it a good stir to get it all incorporated. I want to show you exactly the consistency this dough needs to be. You see the way it's sticky? That's the way you want it. You don't want it so hard because then it just doesn't make for a nice, crunchy, flaky cookie. Let's sprinkle flour on your work surface. Now, I want to talk about a little bit about the biscotti, the size of them. You could get 4 medium loaves, and it's going to make a biscotti this big. If you want a really large one, then you just make 2 loaves. Or if you're looking for the little biscotti that you're to garnish your Christmas cookie platters, then you definitely want a small biscotti, and you don't want it any thicker than maybe an inch and a half wide. So I'm gonna make a larger biscotti just because that's how we prefer them. So I'm just gonna cut this pretty much in 2 large loaves. And just like this. My hand too for easy handling. Get your rings off. Okay. Pretty much you want to achieve the length of your cookie sheet, okay? So, okay, now it's gonna be a little tricky when you pick it up, but I'll show you. Go ahead, pick it up like this. Oop la la, ecco qui. Now what you're going to do is mold it with your hands like this. If it's too large, you could just take a piece off. And what you also want to do is flatten it out a little bit. Here, let me move my hand so you could see. Remove this end right here. Okay, flatten it out because it will expand. It will rise and it's gonna expand. Getting ready to make the other loaf. Put your oven on 350 so you're ready to go. And also beat the egg for the egg wash. Make sure that the eggs are always at room temperature. Makes for better baking. I want to show you. I kept this little piece. I made a little log because I want to show you how perfect they are for your cookie platters. So I'm going to cook this separately. Press it down. I'm going to put it on a little cookie sheet. I'll show you. Mix these little tiny biscotti. They're just one biters. Love it. Let's egg wash the loaves. We just did that, after nice egg wash to the loaves. So like that, the sugar in the raw is going to stick. I like that extra crunchiness on top of the biscotti. A nice sprinkling of sugar in the raw. Not too much, but just enough. That's what my mother always says. Non troppo, ma abbastanza. In the oven they go, and I'll time them for you. These are large biscotti, so it took about 35 minutes. Now, let them cool just enough that you could handle them. You don't want it too cold or extremely hot because you don't want them to crumble when you cut them. Now, a good serrated knife is the way to go. And I want to show you a couple tricks as we cut them. Okay. Careful, I'm gonna go ahead and place it on the cutting board. Now, what's very important as you cut it, if there's any crumbs, you gotta clean them away, because when you go down with the knife, if the tip of the knife hits one of those crumbs, it kind of crumbles whatever you're cutting. Now, you could do it on an angle, but then I like my biscotti nice and straight. Let's start an inch and a half. That's really up to you. Kind of hold it like this. Last time I made them, I don't want to jinx myself, but not even one broke. Again, hold the top, slowly take your time doing this, and go straight down. Let's take a look at one inside. Guardate che bellezza, guardate. Since I need space on my cutting board, I'm gonna go ahead and you're gonna lay them flat like this, one next to each other. Now this is the moment of truth to see if I cut them all the same size, because they're gonna be the same height. See what I mean? I'm gonna clear off my cutting board because I don't want the crumbs to get, when I cut, to break the rest of the cookie. 40 cookies, lower your oven at 325 and let's get them in to double bake. 25 minutes in and look how beautiful and golden they are. Come closer. And very crunchy, you could hear it. I want to talk a little bit about storing them. Once they're completely cool, you could put them in Ziploc bags or a sealed plastic, like a Tupperware, and store them in a cool, dry place. They will keep at least for 2 weeks. That's what I love. They're perfect with your cup of coffee. They're perfect for an afternoon tea. They're just really perfect anytime. They're really beautiful cookies. Not the best part when I get to taste it. Want to show you the difference. Remember that little loaf that I had? Look how tiny and look how big this is. So you can make it in between sizes. It's really up to you. But of course, You got to budget the time when they're in the oven. This took so long, these were really quick. So here you go. These are great for cookie platters. I'm gonna grab the cozzetto, the end, the butt of the cookie. Delicious, definitely a keeper. Make these recipes, make the cookies, share them with your family and loved ones. Thank you. Have a blessed season. Let's keep cooking together. Alla prossima, arrivederci. Ciao, ciao. Out of the oven, it took exactly, hold on.